Mic check one, two. And I am on the public side for sure. All right, let's take a looky here. And let's see what we got going. All right. Good. Was it good night now? Good morning. Man, I think it's like morning. I believe I feel more comfortable talking around this time at night. So maybe I'll start doing all my live stream at this time for those who are night owls. Hi, my name is Samuel F. Robinson. This is Get AI Keys. Tonight is about AI principles. Got hacked? Yeah, I'm sure you have at some point. And if you haven't, get ready. With the advanced tools that hackers are using now, we need AI software, systems, and services to keep up. And if you're not using a cybersecurity suite of tools that is AI enabled, you have some challenges ahead. I'm going to give you 10 keys that you can use in order to better protect yourself in this fast new world called cybersecurity. Let's get started with number 10, ignoring privacy settings. I know you're like, what's that? It's a button that you click when you are being annoyed because what you want to do you can't do, it's being restricted, so you just remove the little check mark and all of a sudden you can do what you want, except now the hackers can do what they want too. So don't ignore privacy settings, especially in web browsers. You turn them on, you read through them, make sure that you understand what you're giving up and what you're being protected from. This is important. Number 9, it's important that you educate yourself on cybersecurity. Whether you read a book, subscribe to this channel, become a Get AI Keys member, or even subscribe to the Samuel F. Robinson channel, whichever one you do, become aware of what's going on in the cybersecurity world, especially if you're using devices like Meraki. You want to gain some knowledge on what they're using to protect you. Let's go to number 8, falling for scams. I'm sure you guys have some Nigerian princes out there who want to send you a lot of money only to empty your bank account. Well, the game has changed. It actually has now gone to LinkedIn and Facebook. Somebody message you or somebody sends you a text message and they say, hey, it's me from the party. And you know you went to a party, but you don't know this person, so you're inclined to respond. And then they call you Emma, but your name is Sam. And then the conversation tends to continue from there. Now, for most of you who are hardcore, if you don't recognize a number, you don't answer it. So good on you. When you're business owners, solopreneur or business owner, which is who typically you're the audience, you're the one that's listening, you got to answer your phone because it could be a client. You can't ignore all the calls and you won't have no business. Fell into that trap before. So you got to take some of these calls that you at least recognize and then you got to filter through them. Just be aware of the things that you're hearing. And so beware of these scams, falling for scams. I had once, and I'll share this story before I move on to number 7. There's this gentleman that had a brick and mortar store. Somebody walked into his store, bought a whole bunch of laptops, paid for it on a credit card, and then went back to their country. They even showed a passport, only to find out that the card was fraudulent. So he lost the laptops and he lost his money. Oh, and by the way, they canceled his merchant account. So he just didn't lose the money. He lost a lot more. beware of those types of scams that can occur. And we can go into detail. You know, you can always schedule a consultant, whether it be me or somebody else, and talk about these things to see how you can be more protected. That leads me into number seven, 2FA. For you, the homeowner, the solopreneur, the employee at work, or the business owner who prefer to have straight access into your software and uncheck the 2FA, don't do that. It's better to be safe than sorry, and I can go more into detail. So let's unpack that. I'm going to tell you how to protect yourself with the 2FA on. So when you're in the process of turning it on, this is what I recommend. Take a screenshot, take a picture, print that QR code that you have to scan. Don't save it on the computer, put it into your safe, because if you should lose your phone that has all your Google, all your other two factors, then you need a paddle. Don't do that. So anytime you need to create a 2FA, take a screenshot of the QR code and store it offline. And I know they have this new service. I believe I saw Google with it, and Google said, "Oh, you can save your codes in the cloud." Why would you want to do that? They need protection just like you. Best security is offline. And this is what they do with the offline crypto wallets. You take it on a USB, you store it offline. That way your money's offline. Otherwise, it's in the cloud. They shut your cloud down and now you don't have access to your stuff. Bad deal. Don't do that. Let's move on to number 6. Sharing too much personal data. I know I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I'm an open heart person. So I'm always willing to lend a helping hand. However, you don't need to know my entire birth date. Yes, I'm going to celebrate on my day, but you don't need to know exact dates. You don't need to know all those details. Always omit something. If they're going to try to hack you, let them go to work. If their intent, I mean, I had this one situation where somebody was just coming after me. I mean, coming after me to the point where somebody else said, "I don't understand why they're coming after you so hard. You're just one person." Okay. If somebody wants to come after you, don't make it so easy for them. Don't share all of your data online. Let's move on to number 5. I know I just blurred the camera, right? Yeah. Let me check. No. So, talking about, and I'll switch just in case. Talking about number 5 is backups. When it comes to your data, always tend to back it up in sometimes multiple areas. Backing up to a USB is not a good idea because these things eventually go bad. They have a shelf life. And so you want to back up to something that, whether it be offline storage, if you're backing up to the cloud, that's great. Just note that it's going to consume more bandwidth coming back down. And for most companies that charge, they make it so cheap for you to put it up. But then when it's time to take it back down, they charge so much. So where you back up, make sure that it's in your best interest. But more importantly, do the backups. Most people don't even back up at all. "Oh, I dropped my phone." I was sitting in the car and a young lady had the phone on top of the car. She turned the intersection. The phone went one direction and she went the other direction. Everybody in the intersection was watching this, so nobody moved except for the few people who wasn't paying attention. And she stopped and was able to get her phone uncracked. Not all those situations turn out correct. I've seen somewhere the phone falls, the car runs over it, the next car runs over it, They go to pick it up and it's all in pieces. Oh, yeah, that was me. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let's move on to number 4. I use IP Vanish from my VPN. There's Bitdefender. There's so many softwares out there. When you go into a public place, please ensure that you use your VPN when connecting to public Wi-Fi. That way you can encrypt and protect your data. Let's move on to number 3. You ever get those funny emails that look like it came from somebody you know, and then as you look closer, it really looks like somebody that you know, and then you click on it and you find out it's nobody that you knew? Yeah. Whenever you come across links, especially if it looks just 1% suspicious, go up to the top where the person's email address is, either hover over it or click on it and verify that that's the correct email address. Don't just trust the name. Oh, you got an email, it's from Samuel Robinson. Okay, great. You click and you realize that that didn't come from Sam, it was just spoofing his name. And now you're compromised, you got hacked. Don't do that. Check the links. Let's move on to number 2. When it comes to passwords, and I know you're probably guilty of this. You don't use the same password across multiple sites, do you? No, I don't think so. You're not that person. So I'm talking about that other guy that does this. So that other guy, he saves his password, and then he goes to another website, he saves the same password. So if they break into one, they have access to all. Not too smart. But I know you're not that person. So you're the person that has a password manager where you're going to store all your passwords into that manager, and you're going to have it change. I don't even know my passwords. The password manager creates the password 15, 16, 18 digits. I don't know. I'm not trying to memorize that. I just saved it. Now, key important for those who are doing that, make certain that when you click the save, you go back and verify that it actually did save the password, because sometimes it only saves the screen that you did the authentication on, not the password. And then when you get ready to go back into it, you don't know the password and it didn't save it, so you got an issue. Before I go on to number 1, if you're not subscribed as a paid member to get AI keys, explore that option. Just like I'm going into details now, this video, this live, is usually in the back end for those who are subscribed. I decided to make it here right now just for you. So this is more or less like your sneak preview. Let's get into number 1. So when it comes on to patch management, this is something that most people ignore. I'm sure you're not guilty of this. So you go into your browser, and in the upper right hand corner it says update. You ignore that and you keep working. But more importantly, you start entering personal information, and that little thing there is supposed to protect you, but you're too tired to click on it. I know you're not that person. You're the person that actually clicks on it, updates, go through the inconvenience of it shutting down and reopen. You actually go on to your phone, and when it says there's a new software available, you know, you wait for patch Tuesday, you wait for the next day, and you hit your patch. Those are for the Windows people. I'm a Mac guy. I use both, but I prefer Mac. Mac, you get the update. Everybody gets the update. It's solid. Both of them still have issues, but at least it's not a part of a patch that creates a problem. Anyway, that's for another time. Hi, my name is Samuel F. Robinson. This is Get AI Keys, and this has been an AI Principles, normally held on the Samuel F. Robinson channel. We actually created a podcast for that, so stay tuned for that podcast where we're going to be interviewing individuals that work with AI and and they have it infused in their business in some capacity. You're going to hear about their journey. I'll share my journey at some point and show exactly how that works. So look forward to that, and I will see you in the next event. Did I actually finish before time? I did. I'm done.